find the good times. Oh, if you ever needed help, a friend was there. Some good neighbor will help lift your burden. And the simple joys of life, your friend will share. Times are harder.
Well, hello everybody. Looks like we got a well, we got some comments here. Hello, Leslie. Denise, hello. Gina. So what do we got? We got 5 watchers right now. Very cool. Susan, you did make it. Very cool. Let's see what you got there. Hi everyone. Weather's been crazy all over. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. It's been 100. Holy crap! 115 to 117 degrees this week. Unreal. Thoughts to all in the hurricane's aftermath. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Denise. Yes, I do have power. I'm sorry I was running a little bit late. I'm running late on everything right now myself, trying to play catch up with a few things. Anyway, we got 12 people, so let's just if you're out there and you haven't commented, just kind of put your name up there. Just say hey and let me know where you're from if you haven't been on here before. Teresa, hello, Teresa. Nice to see you again. So this week, my guest is from New York. And actually, I've gotten to know Michael fairly well. We've done some content together, some creative. Him and I've had a lot of fun making some comment. This here is Michael's channel with YouTube. I will be posting all the information and the link to his channel. He's got a great mix of top 5s, which results in the top of the hops. And I've learned a lot about IPAs with him. Let's introduce Mr. Michael to the show. Hello, Michael.
What's up, Rick? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's nice. It's nice to. Thanks a lot for joining me, and hopefully we're going to have a very eventful conversation. Hello, Shannon. Leslie says that she just sent you a message, Michael.
Okay, I will definitely. I'll look at it.
So Michael and I have had the pleasure. I've had the great pleasure of working on some top 5 lists with him, and I think they've been some very interesting top lists.
Yeah,
I'm going to show you a little. I'm going to show you a little clip that I kind of edited, so you kind of get an idea of how his format is. And this is his most recent top 5 that him and I did. It's the top 5 Elvis performances from the 50s on TV. And we had a blast talking about it. And we had a time really coming up with our top 5 because when you think about it, there's like 36 different performances that he did. So that once again, that link for that video will be in the description of this video. And like I have been doing with the first 2 shows we've done, I take the live performance and I edit it down a little bit, cut out some of the boo-boos or whatever, and put it on the video side so everybody can watch it. But I leave it on the live stream too, so everybody can see the actual chat. Well, here's a little clip here real quick. I'm going to show you all. This is from the top 5 Elvis TV performances from the 50s.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Top of the Hops. I'm your host, Michael Riker, and join me again, the host of Elvis-A-Z, the great Rick Lowe. Rick, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to this one.
Yeah, before we get to our top 5, of course, it's beer time. And you gave me a little preview earlier. I'm looking forward to seeing how you like this. What do we have here?
From Wicked Weed Brewing.
Okay.
This one is a mango wowie.
Ooh, that looks good.
It's supposed to have, well, obviously mango.
Yeah.
So let's see how well I do in pouring a
Yeah,
beer.
let's see how it looks. I like the can. Oh, that looks good.
Wow, I finally did one right.
Yeah, that was good. It was a good pour there, Rick.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an amber lager. It's 5.2%, so it's very light. You're not going to see it because the glass I have is my Elvis glass. So you're not going to see it, but I can give you a little preview of what it is. It's an amber lager, so it's got that golden color, amber color out of it.
I didn't even, I was watching that. I didn't realize I'm sitting there. Of course, I had to put the part clip where you say the great Rick Lowe. I was like, oh man, everyone's gonna say yeah. No, I appreciate it, man.
It's funny. I'm drinking the same beer as I did on that show.
I absolutely love the music that you put in there for this. Is it that same one you used last year too?
No, that's different. I wanted to do a little something different for season 2.
It's such a clean, it's such a clean video, and the music. I just love it. It's perfect. You can't come up with a better one. But Michael covers. You know what? I'm going to just let Michael start talking. He'll talk a little bit about his channel. But the main reason we're here is for Michael to tell us how he got into Elvis. So, Michael, the show's yours.
Well, first about the show. It's called Top of the Hops. I am a beer lover. So me and my guests will have our drink of choice. It could be beer, it could be non-alcoholic. Most of the time it is beer. And we describe some of what we're drinking, the beer, the soda, the wine, whatever you're drinking, we describe that. And we get into kind of a conversation about some of our favorite things, top 5. I have a lot of Elvis stuff on there. I have some sports, some other music. I have some Fleetwood Mac on there with Dylan. But we do some great things. Brent's been on the show a few times where we did top 5 Tom Hanks movies. So, yeah, I think it's a fun show. A lot of people have gotten really great feedback. I've had some great guests. So, it's been a lot of fun. Some great things coming up in the near future. As far as getting to Elvis, my mom was a big Elvis fan. Loved him from the start. And back in 1973, she put on Aloha from Hawaii, and I was 2 at the time. And she said I was in my rocker, and my eyes got wide, my eyes got big, and I was rocking back and forth the entire concert. And fast forward to November, when I turned 3, she bought me the album at the age of 3. So that's how I got into Elvis. That's why Aloha from Hawaii is always my favorite and always has a special place in my heart when it comes to Elvis. So yes, that's how I got into Elvis.
Well, you and I have had a lot of conversations about his music. So we had a bit like you and I had a very in-depth conversation about the most recent box set that came out.
Yes.
So of course, by the end of it all, by the time I finished all my reviews, I come out with a little better perspective of the whole box set than I did from the very beginning.
Right.
But the stack sessions and the jungle room sessions to me turned out actually great, with the exception of a couple here and there. So how old were you when he died?
I was 6 when he died. I remember that moment vividly because we were living. My parents managed an apartment building at the time, and there were 99 units. And everybody, all 99 units knew I was an Elvis fan. Let's just put it that way. So my niece at the time, who was believe it or not, a few years older than I was, came out and yelled that Elvis had passed away. She saw an alert come up on the news. And my mother got so upset with her. Why are you teasing him about that? He'll get very upset. She said, no, Grandma, no, it's true. It's true. And we found out it was true. And then it didn't really hit me. All I knew was that all the radio stations, I was living in Louisiana at the time. I've lived in Louisiana about 20 years. And all I knew was that all these radio stations, because of the death of Elvis, were just making a big tribute for him by playing all his music. So I was just happy that the radio was playing all Elvis because, 1977, they weren't really playing much Elvis.
No, not on your top 40 list. No.
No, they weren't. So I was just happy. But all the tenants came down and offered their condolences to me at the age of 6.
Oh, wow.
It didn't hit me, Rick, until really, believe it or not, 4 years later when I saw This Is Elvis, the movie, at a theater.
Yeah.
And that scene when at the end when he sings an American Trilogy and they go right into the funeral scene, I bawled my eyes out. That strangers were coming up to my mother and me asking if I was okay. And that's when it hit me that he was really gone.
Yeah, I was 19 when he passed away. I'd just gotten actually it was an interesting time because I went from one emotion to the other in those 2 days. On August 15th, the day before, my wife and I, we'd been married almost a year, had come home that day and let us know that we were going to have our first child.
Oh, wow.
So I was like on top of the world.
Sure.
And I went to work the next day and I was just like, tell him I'm going to be a dad and all this kind of stuff. And, even talking to my dad, that when I talked to him that night that we found out, it was a matter of, I can't wait till he or she, got old enough so I can start teaching her about Elvis and all that. I have a tendency, I've had a tendency over the years to whoever I was dating or, and then my first wife, my wife now is, she gets a little interested. They've never really been Elvis fans, they like some of his stuff, but they were nothing like me. So, so I was excited. I was talking to everybody at work and it come around 3 I usually got off I was working at Sears Roebuck at the time. And I worked in the display department, set up all the displays and the ends of the end caps and all that. And, I come in and it was like 30 minutes or so before I got off work. I think I got off work around 4. It was right about the time my boss come popping and he goes, well, Ricky, he says, I hate to give you some bad news. He says, but your man just died. And I thought he was talking about my father.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I thought, and I'm thinking, well, after a little bit later, I thought, no, he would have never told me about my dad, that way. And in front of everybody. And he said Elvis Presley died. And he told me later, if we talked to him, he says, my face went totally white. And he says he thought I was going to pass out. And I lived right next door to where I worked. So I walked to work every day. And I walked on, it was like the longest walk. And I got home and I flipped on the TV for the news and started watching it, flipped on the radio. And, I thought, wow, it's true. And then back those days, we didn't have cell phones and all that. Right. So I had to wait till my dad got home to talk to him about it from when he traveled a lot. So it was a very eventful time. One story I don't usually tell a lot of people is I did go to Graceland. I hopped my motorcycle, which pretty much came close to me getting divorced. But I hopped on my motorcycle and I drove to Graceland that night. And I got to Graceland around 11 or 12 o'clock midnight that night.
Wow.
And there was already thousands of people. I've been writing a little story about the experience and I'm hoping to finish it. I'm like right in the middle of it. And it was really a hard ride because it was hot. It was in August.
Yeah.
And when you're driving and I stopped in Tupelo and they had the one gas station open. I got gas on a motorcycle. You only get 100, 110 miles. And Graceland, it was about an 8-hour drive back then before they opened up the main highway. And so on a bike, it runs up to almost 10. So it was like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning before I got there. And I just took a change of one shirt and a little bag. I put it in a little paper bag, strapped it to the back of the motorcycle and went on up. And it was an eventful time. And then I only stayed a day. I stayed the whole next day. And it was just like, I got to go home. This is just too much. It was crowded. They started talking about being able to see the body. And I decided to go home. I didn't want to go through all that.
Yeah, they had record heat there, didn't they? People were passing out, right?
People were passing out, and I was starting to get ill. It was hard to get water. You had to, people were going out and buying water, and buying the gallon-sized water, and trying to get something. And I was just starting to get sick, and I thought I can't do this. And I went on back. But that was my, it was just, it hit me, and I cried. I mean, I literally sat at home and cried when it happened that night. We'd just seen him 6 months earlier. So, Gina, I rode from Atlanta. I rode out of Atlanta, and I took 20 out towards Birmingham and caught 78. Went on up. It's a main highway now, so it takes it down so quick. It is a 6-hour ride now. It takes 3 hours to get to Tupelo, and it takes 3 hours to get to Graceland now. And my mom lived in Little Rock, so we used to stop by Graceland just to go up to the meditation gardens every time we went.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I was old enough, I would have definitely taken the trek down. Yeah, it was like I say, as a 6-year-old kid, it didn't register for me.
Yeah.
So all I knew was like they were playing a lot of Elvis on the radio. And as you remember too, Rick, even after that, they played all kinds of Elvis stuff out on TV. And
Yeah.
The Elvis in Concert special came out like a month or two after that. So
Right.
I was just happy to see all this Elvis stuff come out. So it wasn't registering to me. But like I said, when I saw that movie in that theater and I saw that funeral procession scene, it still hits me to today when I see that.
Yeah. I mean, there's times that I wish I'd been better prepared and gone and stayed a little bit longer,
Right.
at least to be able to see the procession. I don't know. I've never gone when somebody's passed away in my family. There's only been one time that I have seen the body after they've died. I prefer to remember them the last time. Like with my dad, I refused to go in there. I wanted to remember him the same way. And I don't think I would have ever been sucked into that aspect. I don't want to say sucked in because it's not a proper way, but I preferred not to see him dead. I didn't want that image. And so I don't know if I would have gone through, just for the fact I met somebody there, and she was like 12, 15, 20 years older than I was. And we had a lot of great conversations, and I think she went on in, but it hit. I mean, it took me a long time, and the whole balloon busting with my daughter. I remember driving home one day with my wife in the car, and I started crying. Of course, once again, I didn't know what my child was going to be at the time, but I just kept saying I'm not going to ever give her the opportunity, him or her, to see Elvis.
Right.
It just changed my whole perspective on a lot of things. And
Sure.
And then, of course, all the bad stuff that started coming out. I started getting infuriated. And it was just
of course.
Geraldo Rivera. And,
oh, jeez.
And he did more damage. The guy's a jackwad, He was a Jerry Springer wannabe is all he was.
Yeah, he worked at my place, and every time I would pass him by, I did not even say hello.
Yeah, I despise that man,
Yeah,
he's a hypocrite, first of all,
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but you're right. A lot of bad stuff came out, but like I said, but I'm kind of, I don't want to say glad, but I was kind of content knowing that I did see him twice. I was young. My father, who was not an Elvis fan, but because he took me.
Wow.
And I was lucky enough to get a scarf from Elvis.
Oh, wow. And you were 6 when he died. So how old were you when?
So, the first time I saw him was in June of '74 in Baton Rouge.
Holy. How much do you remember of it?
Not, I remember, Rick. I remember more when I went in '76. That was July of '76.
Yeah.
I remember a little more of that. Because that's when I received a scarf from him. But I don't remember. I remember some things here and there at the concert, but I remember walking into the building and just the excitement of when he's going to come out. And I remember the most is the opening, playing that also Sprock, and then going right into CC Rider. That's where I met in the flashing lights. It's just, it still gives me goosebumps today, just thinking about that. But I have some memories of it, but it's hard. But I was lucky enough. During him singing Teddy Bear, he actually threw out a scarf to me. I was on my
goodness.
I was on my father's shoulders, and he saw me, and he threw it out to me, and I was able to grab it.
I am so freaking jealous, man. I got to see him 3 times, and the best I got was just good seats.
Yeah.
Um,
But
you know,
you went to one of the great shows in '76.
yeah, oh yeah,
I mean, those December shows in '76 are some of the best. And we've talked about this a lot, Rick.
yeah,
People talk about how Aloha from Hawaii is the last great performance, which is such BS. He had so much great stuff in '74 and '75, but those last shows in '76, we talk about Atlanta and Dallas and Birmingham and Pittsburgh. Those 4 shows leading to that New Year's Eve show are some of the
yeah,
best shows ever. Really
yeah.
are.
I got lucky with 3 great shows. I got to really get to know the experience between seeing him in Vegas and seeing him live on tour. Totally different experiences.
I can imagine, yeah.
But great shows. I saw him at the at the Forum in May 11th, 74, which was that time when he did the Memphis Mid-South, and he was just in the zone.
Yeah.
And they were great shows, and I just got lucky with that, and
Yeah.
I got really lucky getting those tickets for that last show, because that I was the second to last person to get tickets, but I learned real quick that you don't ask for, like if you wanted 10 tickets, you don't just say I just want 10 tickets. You say I want 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, because you got a better chance of getting those, like that.
Yeah.
So I went with my wife and my mom and dad, and we didn't sit in the same section, but we sat, I sat right side of the stage, right behind the Stamps in Atlanta.
Yeah, '74 we were up a little bit, but '76 my father got us second row seats, and so that's how I was lucky enough to get the scarf. '76 I remember not being. I remember my mom telling me it wasn't as good as '74. Again, it was June of '74, so he was still in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But '76, she said he could tell he was not himself. But out of that '76 show is when he performed. The first time we heard it was Hurt.
Yeah.
Of course, the next day, me and my mom went to go out and bought that album right the next day because of how great that version was. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
now I had a friend that had tickets for the tours that didn't happen. One of the shows was, I think it was going to be in Asheville, North Carolina, which is about a 4-hour drive from us here. And he went up there. He got really good seats, and he was going to take me with him to go see the show, but obviously it never happened.
Yeah.
But now we one of our top 5 lists was our favorite co-stars.
Yes, that was on your channel, actually.
Yeah, you're right. We did do that on my channel.
Yep.
And because you've really piqued we've got a list of things we've talked about for doing top 5s. Some not even Elvis related, but I just gotten that in my mind,
Yeah, I love it.
But we had a really good chat. We had a really good time with that one, and we had some interesting choices. And of course, everybody knows mine, and
of course.
And but yeah, I mean, that's you and I've have developed a really good friendship and relationship, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. I'm very grateful for you and just your friendship as well. I mean, you were the guy that was up with me late at night when that Memphis box set came out. So,
I had a whole different live stream set for the next day.
I had no one to complain to, so I just texted you. So,
and so you sent me that thing, and I said, "Well, I'm doing a live stream. I think I'm going to be changing my whole format." And and I did, and I've thought a lot about it, and when you think about it, I've probably down to about 10 songs on that box set that I absolutely will never listen to off the box set.
Yeah.
But when you want to listen to mono, which I'm not a big fan of, but there's a lot of mono that's been released, obviously, that was recorded in mono. FTD's getting ready to release a set of concerts from '77 that they recorded, but they were only recorded in a mono. I'll get that and I'll listen to it because it still sounds great.
Right.
I put it in my stereo system. I won't listen to it over headphones. I'll listen to it playing around, in my room. I crank it up when nobody's home. Um,
Yeah, but I agree with you, Rick. I've listened to that box set a little bit more too, and I've definitely grown to really like it. And you're right. There's a few songs in there. It's hard to listen to.
yeah, I can't. I have a tough time with "Don't Cry, Daddy," "Suspicious
Yeah,
Minds," and "Promised Land."
yeah, I agree with
You
you. But
know,
it's funny. Me and Brent taped yesterday, kind of like a 20 song Memphis thing on it for his channel. And I put some of the takes from that box set because, especially the Raised on Rock tracks, I thought they did a really good job with some of
oh
those and
yeah, yeah.
made those
I was
stand out.
really impressed with a lot of songs off the stacks,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them that I like even better than the original. I
yeah,
thought
me too.
Danny Boy.
Oh, by far my favorite track.
Bitter
My
they
favorite.
are, harder they fall. Oh
Yeah,
my,
that's
my
that
God.
that that's yeah, that's two of them, and the other one was If You Don't Come Back. It
Yeah.
really sounds
Oh yeah.
punchy,
Yeah.
really rocks. So
They,
I've lessened my anger a little bit when it
yeah.
comes to that box set. There's some things I
I've
don't like.
calmed down. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm
there's some.
still
But
not a fan of Matt Spang.
yeah,
I'm not a fan of him, but I think there was a little misrepresentation about the box set.
agree,
But
agree.
I've been listening to it. It's got some great stuff.
It does, it
You
does.
know, but I do play a lot of the stack sessions, and I don't do a whole lot of the American Sound ones because
Yeah, that's
there's
my
only a
favorite all
few on
time.
there that came out good. But Jungle Room and the stacks are the best
Yeah,
mixes in the
totally
whole
agree with
set.
you. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Michael, I would like to bring you in with us, with Cam and I, as we discuss some news.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Unless anybody out there's got any questions for Michael, I'm going to be posting the link to his channel. Let's see. I think I got a banner here. This is the top of the hops, Michael Riker, and this is the actual link to the page, which will be in the description down below because you can't really click on that and link it. But it's top of the hops. He's got some great stuff that's not Elvis related. He's actually enticed me or gotten me into watching some of the wrestling ones, which
Yeah.
I did not grow up with or was really a big fan growing up with, but it's really come some interesting conversation. So
Yeah,
you guys will really enjoy some of the banter in the chat between everybody. Him and I had some great.
yeah, and I have like a kind of like a Rocktober theme coming up in October where I'll do some stuff. We're gonna do some stuff on Bon Jovi. We're gonna do some stuff on Van Halen. Some more stuff on Prince, and maybe even some Bruce Springsteen. So yeah, I got some stuff coming up in October, which should be pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, once again I like the whole new format with the
Thanks.
with the music and the graphics of the video are just great. So let's see. Let me kind of go through. Susan, I'm glad you made it today. Let's see. Yeah, Gina, that kind of happens when they're in the chat. She said we're having our own discussions. Well, that happens
I
all
love
the
it.
time in all the chats.
Yeah,
And it kind of what we're trying to do is entice some conversation here. And it happens, and we do get off topic sometimes, but this is a free for all,
right.
But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I got a few news bits here, and I got a little topic. I've been during the storm, I my mind wandered and I didn't really use my laptop a lot because I've always been afraid of a power surge, and I've lost a whole system once before, so. I just ran it off a battery at the time, and once the battery went dead, it was, I didn't use it. So I did most everything off my cell phone. But I do a lot of thinking. So there's a little conversation I'm going to bring Cam in back on this page after we do the news, and maybe it'll get some people throwing in some comments about it too. It's kind of well, we'll get to that in a minute. So anyway, folks, a little bit of news here. Right here, layer. I turned off the music because I got a little irritated there. So Cam, hello.
How are you, brother?
Good. Nice to see you. Nice to have you on board.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, like I said, I love the background there.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
So, folks, as we talked last week, you got the Oprah special coming up on the 8th. I'm going to be recording it, but I hope everybody gets a chance to see it. I think it's going to be interesting. The People magazine came out on Friday. I actually subscribed to it off my Kindle Unlimited. So I did a little screenshot thing of it and posted on Facebook for a lot of people that can't get it or aren't going to get it. Let's see. We got Susan. Hey there, Cam. A lot of people saying hello there, Cameron.
Hey guys, how you all?
So we got that coming, and then on the 𝐒irclegfoundation Foundation, I got the link down below in the description for you to subscribe to the Roundup newsletter that comes out every quarter. Now we got a special one coming up to be talking about the event for next year, October. And you'll have a lot of information. There's going to be a lot more information coming out about it. And Lesley, if you have any thoughts you want to throw in, I'll put them on screen here. I hope I don't know. Will these come up on the screen? Show. Yeah, they do. Cool. So anyway, so for the first 10 people that buy tickets for it next year, it's going to be held in the UK, and well, they would be entered into a special, I believe, a giveaway. Let me see. I got my notes here, and I should have them right here in front of me, so I need to read that right. Right now, at the moment, CGF news is that we continue our efforts to keep dialogue open with the owners. All those who subscribe to the newsletter, we're going to get an extra edition at the end of this coming week. It's a very good newsletter. So it talks about Elvis. It's free. Don't have to pay for anything. And it comes to your mailbox in your email. So subscribe to it. I enjoy reading some of the stuff. And you could post some of your own little Elvis stories. There'll be an extra edition at the end of this coming, which will give all the news about the UK fundraising event in October next year. And you'll have the opportunity to pre-order tickets, and the first 10 to pre-order tickets will be entered into a special prize show. So that happens to me. That happens to me, Lesley. So anyways, as most of you know, I'm an ambassador with the CGF Foundation, which I thoroughly enjoy. Our cause this year is musical therapy, and a lot of stuff's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks to really promote and talk about this. I do put out promotional videos for it, and I sincerely appreciate everybody that watches them, makes comments, and make contributions. CGF is a great foundation, and we want to really protect and save the 𝐒ircleG Ranch. It's a very important part of Elvis's life. Comment from Susan: Totally agree. Dylan's world comfortable with. Yeah, that's one of the that's part of the conversation I'm going to have here in a few minutes with Cam. And so for those of you, I announced this last week. For those of you that may have decided to order your ticket or be part of the virtual presentation in October, which I did, first of all, internationally, you can't get the book. In fact, I think it was Lesley. I think they even told her they were going to refund her money because of that, but she worked out something with them about donating the book to charity or the library. But unfortunately, they have changed the date due to a scheduling contract, so now it's on November 25th, which drives me a wild because I was all excited about it being October 20, the 20th. So, but anyway, that's when it's going to be. The tickets are still available. I'm still excited about seeing that. So, that's hey, Michael, Cam, you got any comments about any of that part of the news?
Yeah, go ahead, Cam.
Sorry, man. That's crazy. I was looking forward to that too, and now to hear it's being pushed out another month, it kind of makes a person wonder if it's actually going to get to the point of release, because surely these kind of things should be worked out and ironed out months before the time.
Yeah, I guess it was something to do with she's on set. They changed. I guess they changed location or did something, had to make some scheduling changes in her commitment for a movie. So that had, of course, crap rolls downhill, and everybody else has got to make changes. The other thing I want to do real quick is, Michael and I talked about this before we started. Is let me take this off, and I'm going to put this on. As we all know, Hurricane Helene came up the coast, and we, hit Florida, hit North Carolina, hit Georgia, went on up, and we know it affected a lot of Elvis fans. So a lot of devastation. I myself got very, very lucky here where we're at, because originally we were in the line of the edge of the center of the storm, and we were prepared for some major damage. Fortunately, it turned east just a little bit before it hit Atlanta, so it put us at a little bit more edge, and we just got heavy, heavy, heavy rain. I had some flood damage, but it's just totally insignificant to really what happened. So these are just some of the pictures from up the coast, and so we just want to keep in our minds, in prayers, all these people, especially, including, a lot of Elvis fans that were obviously affected. So that's the news I have. You guys got anything to share real quick before we go back to the main screen? Anything? Anybody? Let's see what I got. Leslie thought we'll be opening up donations. Yeah, every year we do. We open up for donations for the flowers for Elvis's birthday, like we did for his the anniversary of his passing. But the newsletter, subscribe to it. All it just comes to your mailbox once a quarter. Got some great news, some great topics, and it's just, it's very interesting. Keeps you kind of up to date with the battles, with trying to save the Circle G rants, and then everything else we do, donations and Elvis stories. The more the merrier. All right, so back to the main channel. I'm going to add Cam to the mix now. Here's what do we got? It's 12:41. So I try to minimize this to an hour so that it doesn't get off kilter. And Riley comes into this picture here, but I was reading something. I was reading some articles. I read the People magazine article, but I read some other article too about Graceland. How long will it still be there before somebody in the family line decides, they don't want to keep this? And it made me think a lot about it, because I do everything on my channel to protect the legacy of Elvis. Everything I can do. As any of you that subscribe to my channel know, that there is nothing negative on my channel. I will not allow it. I do go after trolls. I am going to be starting a weekly video short of all the troll comments, because I've been getting a lot of those now. More subscribers I get a lot of those comments. Really stupid comments. And I give them my answers, back. And then I give them the chance. They come back and get worse, and I delete them. I'm sorry, but I don't delete opinions that may be different of mine. But if they're comments that are rude and nasty and hateful, then they're gone. I won't allow it. And I've kept my channel very clean and without reproach on Elvis's legacy. And I don't believe that getting out there and going after other people, like Priscilla or whatever, the nasty and the hate they have towards her, or Colonel Parker, or anybody, any part of Elvis's entourage, I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow it on my channel. I think everybody that was in Elvis's life did something good for Elvis's career. They've all, I mean, like for example, I just put out a Remembering Elvis video on Marty Lacker, and when you think, after I put that video out, I'm sure I've had this thought before, but you think about it. If it was not for Marty Lacker, we would have never had Suspicious Minds, In the Ghetto. We would have never had any of the American Sounds studio songs. Kentucky Rain, all those songs happened because Marty Lacker talked Elvis and going down and recording with Chips Moman instead of going to Nashville. Now, maybe somewhere along the line, one of the songwriters would have, gotten with Elvis, but all those songs came through American Sound Studios. So, and I've always had a high respect for Marty Lacker, anyways. But everybody did something good for Elvis. Charlie, Joe, any of them. And whatever anybody thinks about the negative stuff they did, I don't put it on my channel. It's not worth mentioning. But I thought about the long term of Elvis, because I've had this conversation before about the people that are still here on Earth that witnessed him back in the 50s and the 60s and 70s, and how that number's decreasing. And we do realize that the fan base is increasing, but I think you get a little more different perspective. I mean, what do you guys think, Michael, Cam?
Yeah, I agree, Rick. I think the Elvis community is growing, but you're right. It's hard to talk to people these days who've seen him or met with him, and so wherever we get people like that, we gravitate towards, because we want to feel like we know Elvis. We want to hear from those people that even talk to him or anything like that, and that's dwindling, unfortunately. But and that's why we, like you do, and you do it great, is protect the legacy of Elvis, because we want the younger fans to appreciate what Elvis has done, and especially some of the younger fans who don't know some of the music or don't know some of the movies, and want to learn more about Elvis. So I think it's great that you're protecting his legacy, because we need to. We need to tell people what he was really about, not just through his music, but through what he did through life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one, Mike. I think the sad thing with the new guys is they only starting to see and experience him as a new artist, if I could use that expression. But it's up to guys like us with the channels that we have and the content that we're putting out there to actually make those newer fans aware of the fact that he wasn't only an entertainer, but he was also a human being, and that he did in fact place a major footprint on humanity. And it's up to us to keep that footprint there, and it's up to us to keep that footprint relevant, because I think if we don't, he will eventually just become like a new artist. They fade in and they're around for a while, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You don't hear from them again. So I think we actually, in many ways, don't really appreciate the bigness of the task that we have at hand to actually make sure that the younger guys out there that weren't around when he was around, um, to show them what kind of person he really was, separate from being the artist that he is.
Yeah, and I want to continue with that, Cam, the fact that I was so glad to see those excerpts of Lisa's book, talking about her going to Las Vegas and the electricity that came through her when she saw her father on stage,
Yeah.
and then also
Mm.
him going to those parent-teacher conference. You wouldn't think Elvis went to a parent-teacher conference,
Yeah.
but she said, but all the teachers were excited, and all her little friends, and she took him by the hand, and he had a cigar in his mouth, and she remembered the belt buckle. It was just that stuff. It just warmed my heart when I heard that, and I'm just so happy that she had the best memories of her father. I'm just so elated for her.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah. Go ahead, Cam.
the, the awesome thing with that is if she could experience that electricity from her own father,
Right.
um, how awesome must it have been for us general fans? That must have been times a million. If she was able to recognize that in her own father, then it must have been really something.
Yeah, it's fun. Joan Rivers actually said that when she went to Melissa Rivers' parent-teacher conference, Elvis was there too. I think Melissa went
Yeah.
to the same school as Lisa
I
Marie,
think
and
I heard this. Yeah.
yeah, and she said he would actually sit in those little chairs and listen to the teacher. She said he was a beautiful human being.
Yeah. I Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons too why I try to keep I do have a dedication to keep, because I'll stop doing my channel if it gets to the point or I'll put it this way: if I ever put anything negative on there that about Elvis, then it's time for me to stop doing my channel, because I want people to know who he really was, because I'm one of these people that, like, nobody's perfect. I'm
Right.
sorry, you can sit there and point your finger at anybody, but I got news for you. You got three pointing right back at you.
Right.
And talking about that legacy, keeping on going in the future generations that never had the opportunity to see him, which breaks my heart, especially over the internationally. I'm really, at first, I really hated the idea of AI, but I do know that there is, if they get it to the point where somebody can go see a concert of him in an AI, artificial, whatever AI stands for, artificial intelligence. If they get to the point where somebody can actually feel as close as possible to what it was like to be in an arena with him in concert, then I'm for it, because at least somebody has some kind of, I know that Elvis tour they did around was really close to it. I went and saw it, and I closed my eyes when it started, and I opened up my eyes, and I felt like, when I was back in the Omni or the Forum. It gave me that sense of feeling because of the music and the feeling. It was the feeling more than the screen. You saw Elvis up there and you heard the band live, so it gave you that feeling. And hopefully that continues, and I think it will. I think Riley is an amazing person as far as business wise. I think she has every determination because of her mother talking about it. I think she understands what she has as a heritage, and I think, acting wise, singing, everything I've seen from her has just blown me away. And even just the interviews I hear her from, she just very professional, and I think she knows that she needs to keep this legacy alive and do everything she can. I mean, obviously, when that person came out and tried to steal Graceland,
Yep.
who was the person that jumped on it immediately and stopped it? Because
Yep.
she could have just said, anybody, there's a lot of people out there that said, tough.
Yeah, she could be lackadaisical about it, and she wasn't. She was right on top of it, Rick.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. I enjoy everything she's done. I didn't really watch some of the things she did on whatever HBO, some of the streaming service, because the theme wasn't really was of interest of me, to me. But her recent movies, the two series that she just did with Daisy Jones, and then the other one, Under the Bridge, they were great. She reminds me a little bit, Under the Bridge. She reminded me of Jodie Foster in the way she presented herself in that series.
Yeah, good comparison.
And she's an amazing talent.
Yeah, I think Graceland's in good hands with her. Like you said, just with that one, that crazy woman, whoever she was, and she was so on top of that right away. She didn't let it get further than it did. So I think we're in good hands with her. I have high hopes.
Yeah, I think so too. And I like some of the things she's done so far. She's given some opportunities for a little more revenue at Graceland, where they're hosting weddings there.
Right.
I like the whole Christmas presentation that she did. Some of the people I'm not fond of, but I like the whole concept.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to always be fond of everybody.
Yeah, and how about the recording studio they're going to open up there too, which should be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many entertainers out there would not want to go there to record?
Right.
I would. Yeah. I mean, just like walking into Sun Studios. You go to Graceland.
Yep.
They could. That would be. I really wish I could be able to go back and tour Graceland again and see some of those things as they do. But that's my purpose of this, and I had a lot of thoughts about my great grandchildren, hoping that he's still as big then as he is now, because the people that protect him now are going to be long, that have been here are going to be gone. And we got to be smart about how we protect his legacy.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, any more comments? Cam, you got anything you want to share? Any news or?
News, not much, because as you know, news takes a couple of centuries to get to my side of the world.
Yeah.
But in terms of the book, are they only releasing locally your side? Is it not coming over
Well,
internationally?
no, the book itself is being released, I think, everywhere. It's just that one virtual place where you get a copy of the book. They're only doing that in the United States. But you can get the book off of. I mean, everybody correct me if you're international. If you order the book, you can get it off of Amazon or or shop. You can get it from. I bought my book off of Graceland, shop Graceland, because I'm getting the autograph copy and I'm getting a lithograph picture. So I'm getting I'm getting an autograph copy. Oh, and I also kind of really like, I really kind of like the idea that they have. You guys can tell me what you think about Julia Roberts doing some of the narration.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really interested to hear some of because evidently on the audio tape you're going to be able to hear some of the conversations that from Lisa. And of course, Riley talking, and she just, what I read in the People's magazine, it was just like such an emotional time for her doing all that, listening to her mother. That might have been hard. She said, laying in bed and listening to these tapes,
right,
of somebody who just passed away.
Yeah, but you're right, Rick. That's gonna be interesting to hear Julia Roberts do some of those.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a great voice. She's got, she's a great personality. But I ordered the hard copy. Plus, I'm going to get another hard copy from this virtual thing. So that signed hard copy is going to be a giveaway on my channel.
Wow!
So once I get it in, and I'm going to do something, and I'm going to give it away on my channel. And it's for people who just haven't got the money, or just haven't weren't able to get it. I also ordered the audio book and the Kindle edition, because I read a lot of books on the Kindle, but with the audio version, you get to read the book and hear the audio narrated as you read it. So it's like the little bouncing ball, and you can pick up the speed or do whatever you want. And I like listening to some of the books like that, especially books that I read a couple times. I'll come back and read a book a second time. I kind of speed it up a little bit. So
you would kind of think, with all the technology, being able to stream the candlelight vigil and the birthday celebrations and all those kind of things, surely they should be able to do something like that for the book launching too.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that difficult logistically.
No, you can stream anything anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the book comes out in 9. Today's the 29th, tomorrow's the 30th. So 10 days is the release. Same time as the interview with Oprah. That's going to be interesting. I know that Oprah had an interview with Lisa Marie at Graceland, and supposedly there's some kind of relationship in the bloodline somewhere with Oprah and Elvis, and I don't know if that's true. It's just some kind of,
something like third or fourth generation cousins or something.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line, we're all related anyways,
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and Oprah did a good job years ago when she had both Priscilla and Lisa Marie on. So, I'm sure this will be well done.
Yeah, she's a good interview.
Yeah.
I keep her out of politics. Just go ahead and do interviews with the stars and all that,
Right.
I've watched her over the years. I actually, this is interesting. It's a little bit off of Elvis, but for a lot of you know that I used to work for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company. We used to build them, and I used to go in there and set up the hotels. And there was a time when I actually stayed there and was an engineer. That's how I got to meet. I actually got to get on an elevator with Lisa Marie one time when I was an engineer. I was the director of engineering. But one day, Oprah came to town for something, and I was in the front lobby talking to. I was kind of flirting with the front desk girl, I was sitting there chatting with her, and Oprah was coming down the grand staircase to come around a little bit of a curve, and landed right in front of the lobby desk. This was in Atlanta, Georgia. And she had her little 2 puppy dogs that, were with her that she was allowed to keep in the hotel that nobody else was able to do. But actually, I take that back. I was at the top of the steps, and she was getting ready to come up. I apologize. I got to get that reversed. So I'm coming down the steps, and I noticed it was Oprah. And as I come around the corner, my right ankle twists. I flip, and I fall all the way down the last 10 steps and land right in front of her.
Oh, my God.
So my claim to fame is Oprah will always remember me. No matter what she knows who I am, I can guarantee you. If you remember that guy that fell in front of you, well, that was me. I've always been very good at making really great impressions on people. So anyway, I think we've covered a lot of topics here. Anybody else? Keep in mind, I'm going to have a lot of links in the description when I post it. Probably tomorrow on the main video tag, but it'll also be in the live version if for those of you who want to review the chat line and the conversations. But this has been fun. I am now able to add Michael to the little dot on the calendar up in New York. So we've got Melbourne, we've got South Africa, we got me here in little old Georgia, and we got Michael in New York. So we're kind of getting out there. So please, anybody that wants to be a guest on this show, email me. My email address is listed, will be in the description of the video. And I would love to have some more people from around the world. We can just chat, share your stories. We've had fun with Gina, Cam. It was a great start off with Cam. Michael, we've got everybody's got great stories they want to share. And it's just nice to get their face.
I think I saw someone from Poland in the chat.
Oh, really? Poland?
Yeah, I thought so. I'm not sure exactly where.
We got Shell. Shell, you're up in Washington, isn't it? Washington? Yeah, I know you're up in Portland Portland. She's in Portland. Yeah, Portland, Oregon.
Maybe it was Portland. Maybe I.
Yeah, she's from Portland. I don't know yet. Well, my next one scheduled. I don't have anybody for next week, so it's just going to be an open discussion. So if anybody wants to chat next week, let me know. I'll bring you on. Then after that, we got somebody from the UK. And then after that, we got another person from the UK. And I'm hoping to get some more people. I'm trying to entice people. It's a lot of fun. So, Teresa, thank you. Everybody, thank you for coming in.
Yes, thank you, guys.
It's been fun. But I'm hoping this builds up. On the days that I don't have a guest, I'm just going to do a live chat. We'll talk with everybody. The latest on the news. It'll still be a coffee date or a tea date. I might have to change my graphics and put coffee/tea, especially for the UK. But everybody, thank you. I've had fun. Michael, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Let me see.
And good seeing you, Cam.
Always good to be a part of it, brother. Always.
Yeah. Cam.
When it comes to Elvis, I'm available 24/7.
Yeah, Cam and I, I've gotten to know. That's the greatest thing about the YouTube is I've gotten to know so many people that I would have never met. I mean, everybody on this list that chatted here, I've had conversations offline before through comments. Also in my link, I'm really trying to build up my Facebook page because I've got the same idea, as far as protecting his legacy on that. You will find no drama on my Facebook page, no negative postings, but I want to really start building up it's been there for 3 years and I'm only up to like 70 or 80 subscribers. So go to Elvis-A-Z on Facebook and, join it. And let's start sharing. I'm going to start sharing some more magazine articles and things like that on it. And that's where we can start having conversations with each other outside, Messenger or however. But thank you, everybody. Michael again, Cam again. Till next week.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be we'll be at least in Atlanta, outside Atlanta, Georgia with me. So hopefully somebody will want to join in next week. So
You
everybody, what's that?
You catching up for Steve later, or you got your grandson visiting?
Well, I sent out an invite and I haven't heard anything back from him. We talked about it a little bit in the comment sections, and he said, "Ooh, that'd be kind of nice." So I sent him some dates that were open and haven't heard a word from him. So I don't know. I hope so. You know, I can't make his show today because that's the time that I get to see my grandson most of the time. So I usually have to catch the replay. Last week I got to listen to it because he didn't come by, but you know, I get to see him. I teach him a little guitar. We have some fun. He's 13. He's just starting junior middle school.
Always good to spend time with Grandpa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember my times with my grandfather. He used to sit there and play that harmonica, make a train sound. I can remember sitting on his knee at 4 years old. And, yeah, those are special days. Guys, thank you. TCB ADOs. Have a great day, week, and see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, you two hang on for a second.